welcome on in to World Ice Arena. And we're just trying to get set up here. We may have some connection difficulties here tonight. Not sure if the cold weather has anything to do with it. I didn't think temperature affected cell service, but here we are anyway. And so apologies if a frame or two drops or skips. I promise we're recording this one as well. And we'll do our best to bring you everything live for this 18U exhibition between the Dix Hills Hawks 18U team and, of course, your North Park hockey team. Back from the EJ playoffs to play an exhibition game here today. And then they'll take on the New York Stars in a New York State qualifying game tomorrow. And so we'll have an extended look in here in just a moment at the warm-up period, as both teams, well, certainly North Park going to be a little bit short-benched here today. We'll see if Dix Hills is the same. This is just an exhibition between the teams before North Park gets back to its state qualifying campaign tomorrow. That's at 9 a.m. at Abe Stark down in Coney Island. And if you can't make it down to the barn, we'd love to have you join us right here on Midnight Sports. It's a Midnight Sports overlapping doubleheader here today as those Stars in action against the Cyclones right now. And so if you're looking jonesing for a little live hockey action, you can flip over to that game for the next 5 minutes or so right there on the YouTube channel before North Park takes the ice here this afternoon on a cold February Saturday in Flushing Meadows. North Park on their way now toward the ice to get started, warming things up here today, and hopefully they keep us all warm given just how cold it is outside. But again, we can't thank you enough for joining us right here on Midnight Sports. We'll leave you with some royalty-free music as we get the nets set and the players on the ice to warm up. This is Midnight Sports. warm-up period over. Excuse me, got to clear the throat. Let me clear my throat. It is an exhibition matchup here in Dix Hills. Well, against Dix Hills at World Ice Arena in Flushing Meadows, Queens. And it looks like both teams have about 10 skaters aside for this exhibition. And so North Park, off that EJ loss last weekend, trying to get back in the win column. They'll be back in action tomorrow in a New York State Amateur Hockey Association Tier 2 qualifying game against the New York Stars. That's down in Coney Island at Abe Stark. We'd love to have you down at the barn with us. That's at 9 a.m. tomorrow. If you can't join us, though, in person, please feel free to join us right here on Midnight Sports. We'd love to have you. We've got one official on the rink right now, but we will be ready to get down in just a moment. Looks like it will be Ryan Speaker between the pipes for North Park tonight. We'll see who Coach Keyworth sends over the boards. Coach Rayner out this evening. And so it will be Coach Keyworth taking over behind the bench tonight. And it looks like it is Greben, Kishlevsky, Halpern, Meyerwich, and Farrow over the boards first. And so we'll go ahead and get that scoreboard up for you and get ready to go. It's puck drop period 1. We are underway here at World Ice Arena. Dix Hills gains the line, dumps all the way in and across to the near corner is Halpern for the puck. Halpern on the forehand, comes to a Dix Hills stick. Good stick work though across by Kishlevsky on the back check to cut out any threat. And now this is Halpern. Long stretch pass. Look out. It's a mini break here for Meyerwich. Side of the cage. He's got a trailing Greben. But it was a 2-on-1 in the end, and the Hawks cut out the threat. Now the long stretch pass connects. It's a 2-on-0 in the other direction, and the Hawks shoot and score. Just like that, 39 seconds into this one, it was a 2-on-0. And it's the Hawks who take the early lead. 1 shot, 1 goal. 39 seconds into this one, Dix Hills able to draw first blood on the scoreboard. It's Finkelstein at the dot, flanked by Sweeney and Vigliotti. Eller and Keyworth as the defenders. So it's a new look defense here for North Park as they are short benched from their usual 13 or 14. Keyworth all the way across to try to break that up. Here come the Hawks once again, but Keyworth takes over and now can stride forward. Keyworth into the offensive end shooting. That shot block comes up to Meller. Shot in. That one goes wide of the cage. And now it'll be the Hawks looking to break out near side of the ice. If you remember, World Ice has these stairwell stanchions that sometimes get in the way. And so you'll just have to trust what I'm telling you is happening in the near corners of both ends. It's Dix Hills with that early 2-on-0 breakaway. They potted. It's been the only shot on goal so far in this game. 90 seconds in, bodies flying everywhere. Just one official out there, so perhaps the players will take a few extra liberties, knowing that there's only one set of eyes watching them. Vigliotti throws that toward the slot. Keyworth had awaited for it, but there were too many Hawks in the way, and so this is Halpern all the way back to his own blue line for the puck. Curls in his own end. The Hawks come away with it for a moment, but it's Halpern settling it down, working it up to Greben. Now Greben, joined by Farrow, is going to carry that in to the offensive end. Second official on the ice. And so we've got the full complement out there now. And it's Dix Hills in a full sprint with Halpern. Halpern tries to get across. He does, and does so legally. And so now some end-to-end action here as Greben pours that all the way in. Meyerwich to pick up the puck at the end boards. They get a penalty, though. A tripping call. We'll see. It was North Park touching the puck when that happened. And so it's a tripping call. And it'll be Greben to the box. The old 1-4 to the box for 2 minutes here for tripping. 12:42 left to go in this first period. And North Park down a goal, about to be down a man for the next 2. Well, not quite the start the home team was looking for in this one. But we'll see if they can kill off this penalty and maybe get some momentum that way. It's a face-off win by the Hawks, but captured by Halpern in the far corner, sent up and out of the zone. The Hawks have to reset at their own blue line. Dix Hill's on the puck. They work it across the logo and skate forward to try and set up shot. Speaker able to glove that down and freeze, and so counted as a shot on goal. Nothing more just yet. In the sequence, 12:24 left to go here in the first, 1:42 left to go on the man advantage on the tripping call against Grebin. That's one across the zone. And Meyerowicz has seen enough. He's just going to flick that all the way down. Of course, no icing on the penalty kill in 18U hockey. It's a new rule for USA Hockey this season. And so the Hawks have to reset in their own end. Dix Hill's coming forward with some space now into the offensive end side of the cage. They hit a trailer in the slot. Look out on a wrister. Shot down. And it's Speaker looking for the puck, but it was under the pads after the save, so he gets a cheer from the bench. No player could find it. Folks checking the back of the net, but of course it was under the big left leg pad of Speaker in the cage, and so 11:56 left to go. We're going to have an opposite circle drop in the North Park zone. North Park trying to chip that forward. Finkelstein gets tripped up, no arm raised, but he's able to get that puck clear up and out of the defensive end. And so the Hawks netminder out of his cage to reverse it to the near side of the ice. This is now Dix Hill's breaking out on the near side. Then they'll reverse to the far side. Stopping, turning, working it forward, reaching for it was Keyworth. He was able to break up the zone entry for a moment. Throwing it to some open ice are the Hawks, and then dumped in. Off a Hawks stick, they recapture far corner. It's Meller, able to size a man up and pick up the puck. He flicks it forward, up and out of the zone. It's a delayed offside here on Dix Hills. It gives Keyworth enough time to reset. He'll turn and work that puck up and out. He can send it all the way down with 23 seconds left to go on the man advantage. As it's Dix Hills trying to come back in the other direction. Across is Finkelstein on a nice back check. The Hawks reset once more at the logo. This time they do break into the offensive end. Drop pass connects, top of the far circle. It's the Hawks trying to throw that in. Speaker blockers it aside. It was a reaction save. It was a tight end shot, but this is North Park through the captain, able to send that all the way down once more. And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey now as Farrow picks up that puck in his own end, crosses his blue line, and it's good to have Aiden Farrow back from injury. He dumps it into the offensive end. The Hawks man able to send that out to the near corner. And Dix Hill is trying to set up his own breakout, but North Park all over him there. And this will be Sweeney on the forecheck behind the Hawks net. And the Hawks come away with it, and they'll stop and wait. Sweeney pours back in to force the early pass, and it comes up to Vigliotti, who goes and kicks it toward Koslewski. It was a last-second stick lift. That cut out the threat, and now the Hawks try to spread the ice. Hawks all the way in. Good work by Halpern to separate man from puck. The Hawks take back over far side of the ice. It comes off a stick, and this will be Halpern skating it through his blue paint, but he did so with such confidence that no one in the stands were worried there. And Vigliotti able to pick up the puck and carry in. And now Dix Hills comes back in the other direction. They jam it off the boards there. Halpern reaches for it and forces his man into a dump in. The Hawks pick it up in this near corner, but it was shepherded well by Meller all the way back. And now it's Grevin for the long stretch pass. He's got a word for the official who tripped him up on that stretch pass. He'd been off to the races otherwise, and so the Hawks come forward once more all the way in. They shoot in high of the cage. This one racked all the way around far side of the ice, and now Grevin able to pick up that puck, work it toward Meyerowicz, who dumps into the offensive end. North Park considers a partial change. Instead, the Hawks on a quick up keep North Park on the ice. Now a rolling puck finds Keyworth, and he sends it up to Grevin, who tries to break into the offensive end. The Hawks get body position on him, and Dix Hills comes back in the other direction. 2-on-2 here as they shoot wide of the cage. This one's going to go off the end boards, be flicked all the way around by Meller, and it is Meyerowicz trying to get that puck up and out. And Meller's going to try the near side of the ice. Dix Hills all over the puck there for a moment. It's batted up to the point. Grebin jousts with a man here at the near point. The Hawks come away with it, bumping a man off the puck. Is Meyerowicz. He gets a cheer from the bench for it. And now the rolling puck finds Grebin. It's some nifty stick work. He gets it up and out of the zone, and Meyerowicz joins the rush. He dumps into the offensive end, picks it up far side of the ice. It's Meyerowicz in that far corner. Trailer is Keyworth. He reaches for that pass at the blue line, fires in wide of the cage. There was a lot of traffic in front. Not sure the Hawks netminder knew much about it, but the shot ended up going wide, and it'll be Meller tucking that puck in and deep. It's now North Park setting something up at the far point. They dump in toward Grebin. Out front, that puck comes, shot in and saved. It was Koslevsky with a nice shot in front and an even better save by the Hawks netminder. That puck couldn't be jammed home by Koslevsky once more because the Dix Hills Hawks man was in great position in front, and call it a couple of saves on the first couple of shots here tonight for North Park. All the way across toward Keyworth now into the offensive end. Keyworth pours in there. He stops and delays. Drops it off for Finkelstein. Finkelstein rounds the net. Far side of the ice now, waiting for Vigliotti out front. Tries to get it to him. No passing lane. Rolling puck. Finds Vigliotti once more. And it comes off a stick, and here come the Hawks in the other direction. They set up a wrister that goes well over the cage. And Farrow across to pick up that puck. Jabs it off the boards. Bouncing puck finds a Hawks man, but it's center ice. It's Dix Hills right back into the offensive end. Farrow comes across. He gets held there. No arm raised. Onward we play. It's Halpern on the zone exit. Surveys his options. He'll carry it out and up himself. Still Halpern into the offensive end. It's been about 200 feet here. Halpern still on the puck. It's a backhander to Farrow. Shot in. And it hit a body in front. Perhaps the blocker of the Dix Hills netminder. And so taking a huge hit to the back and head there was Farrow. No arm raised. Dix Hills into the offensive end. North Park feels aggrieved that there was no call there, as it was Farrow's head was the primary point of contact. Now Vigliotti into the offensive end, and on the backhand throws it in front. He was looking to try and find Halpern, who was trailing the play. This one's going to come all the way down, and we'll get a stoppage in play. And so we can put that shot up for North Park. But otherwise, in the sequence, just an offensive zone draw for the home team. Grebin, Koslevsky, Meyerowicz, Keyworth, and Meller. Shots 4-3 in Dix Hills' favor on our screen right now. We'll have to check with the official scorekeeper after this one to see. But it is Koslevsky at the dot. Puck's dropped one toward the slot, chipped forward by Meyerowicz. He throws it out front, and reaching for it is Koslevsky. Gets his stick down. Dix Hills will come away with it. Only so far as Grebin, who dumps that puck in and gives chase. Grebin on the puck, throwing it toward the slot, hits a Dix Hills skate, and this will be the Hawks chipping that off the glass up to the near half wall. Pinching in was Keyworth to hold the zone. Rolling puck back up to Keyworth. He's able to work that puck toward the boards, but Dix Hills comes away with it. They'll throw it out one-on-one. It's Meller getting back. Dix Hills carries it all the way into the offensive end. They'll shoot wide of the cage and then pound that puck all the way around. And it's Meller shooting on the puck and upending a man behind the net. He gets tripped up, and finally we get an arm raised as the players all stop at the whistle. 5:02 left to go here in the first. This will be North Park's first chance on the man advantage here at World Ice. They're 1-for-1 on the kill. They'd love to go 1-for-1 on the man advantage. It's a tripping call against Dix Hills, so they'll go to the box for 2 minutes. Up a goal, but down a man for that time period. It'll be Meller, Halpern, Meyerowicz, Grebin, and Keyworth on the ice in white sweaters for power play unit numero uno out there for North Park. It's Midnight Sports, now in Espanol. Puck's dropped, and the whistle went at the drop, which seemed to throw off all the players. Not quite sure why that happened. Anyway, Speaker out of his net to settle that puck down for Halpern, who will carry it all the way to the end boards. And Keyworth builds up some speed up the right wing. He gets the pass from Halpern and skates forward. Keyworth, zone entry, 1-on-2, shot and scored! Well, it was Speaker to Halpern to Keyworth. And so, just like that, with 4:42 left to go, I don't think our replay is going to be working tonight given the connection issues, but you'll take my word for it that it was Keyworth on the score, got the pass from Halpern, who received the puck from Speaker, and we now have a 1-1 hockey game on the laser of a shot from Keyworth. Not sure that puck ever left the ice surface, and still Keyworth able to find the back twine just like that. It's now thrown in on net. Speaker just blockers that into the chest, and onward we play here as Dix Hills has to retrieve at the logo. Finkelstein under the camera well with Farrow trying to get that puck out of the zone. Look out, the Hawks lurking back post. And it was North Park first to the puck to clear it out of trouble all the way across. Goes Finkelstein to try and jab that puck up and out, but we're going to get a hand pass call here, and what you'd expect to be a neutral zone drop, or perhaps all the way back. We shall see. Not adjudged to be intentional, so we're going to keep it close to the North Park zone. 3:50 left to go here in the first. On the hand pass whistle, this is Koslewski at the dot, flanked by Grebin and Halpern on the near side, and Meyerowicz and Farrow on the far side. All right, it's Dix Hills taking that face-off win. They'll bat it out of their zone. Farrow, though, picks up that puck in the neutral zone. He can dump on in. Giving chase now are the Hawks all the way behind their net. It's Koslewski on the forecheck. The Hawks with some time and space behind their net to try and set up this play. North Park backs off to keep the play in front of them. As we mentioned, both teams with just about 10 skaters here today, and so looks like that's an offside call that came just a little bit late from the official. Anyway, to finish that thought, both teams short benched, you'd expect the players to give each other just a little bit of space out there instead of dashing in on every shift, and that's exactly what's happened here in the first. 3:18 left to go in the first. Neutral zone drop on the North Park offside. Same 5 skaters will stay out there. Well, I guess we did have a defensive change. It's Keyworth and Meller out there now as the defenders. Keyworth pinches up on that neutral zone pass, and he's able to retrieve at his own blue line. He goes point to point for Meller. Meller on up to Koslewski, shuffles it up toward Meyerowicz, tries to bat it forward. Puck comes off a stick, and it's going to find North Park in the slot. Last-ditch effort by the Hawks, cut out the threat, and now it's a pass that went off a Hawks man. Into the zone they come. They throw in. Speaker fights that one off. North Park able to throw it up and out of the zone. It's the Hawks resetting at the offensive blue line, and a nice back check by Grebin forces the puck out of the zone. Dix Hills will dump in once more. Back goes Keyworth to pick up. 150 seconds left to go in this first period as it's Meyerowicz separating his man from the puck. In comes Grebin, shot up in on a deflection into the equipment of a Dix Hills man, and so the Hawks reset and dump all the way out. It was Meller preventing that puck from coming in. Bodies flying everywhere right now. Meller takes a hit, pops right back up. Grebin was awaiting. That headman pass didn't quite connect, hit a Hawks stick instead, so it's Keyworth. Now with some nifty stick work, gets that puck across center ice, dumps on in. North Park can make a partial change. The Hawks want to move quickly. Meller picks off a pass at the center of the ice, and he can dump in if he wants. Instead, he dangles past a man, finds Halpern on this side of the ice, and that puck is blockered aside by the Hawks. All the way across goes North Park. Bigliotti picks up that puck, tries to fire in. That hits a body. Getting back, though, smartly was Meller, deputizing as a defender here today. Halpern able to try and move that puck back past a man. Easy for you to say, I suppose, as that one comes up and out. Sweeney settles that puck down all the way in. He was looking for a man in the slot, gets the puck back instead, throws it on net, and we'll get those shots on goal right in just a second as the Hawks emerge with it. Looks like it is 6-6 right now. Shots on goal for each team. Bigliotti will carry forward. And the drop pass for Finkelstein comes in on net. Still loose shot and scored. Well, it was Halpern who was able to pick up that rebound, shoot and score with 1 minute even left on the first period clock. We'll have to check the tape, but it looked like it might have been a Finkelstein shot put home by Halpern. And just like that, it's a 2-1 hockey game here at World Ice with 60 seconds left to play in the first. It's Grebin picking off a pass coming into the offensive zone. He's all alone. He shoots and scores. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The old 1-4 right off the face-off. Able to head on in, and those goals were just 7 seconds apart. And just like that, it was a face-off from Koslewski, and Grebin carried it forward and tucked it home. It's the Hawks. They want to answer the bell here with still 45 seconds left to go in the first. They shoot all the way across. Speaker with a smart save sends it up to the blue line. It's not up and out just yet. Onward we play. It's Halpern all the way back to his end wall there, trying to stick that puck farther. Circling back is Meyerowicz to settle the play down. Meyerowicz takes a bump and keeps on ticking. And play like that will start to be called Timex here pretty soon. It is Meyerowicz all the way behind his own net. Excuse me, Dix Hill's net. And Meller's going to take that puck as it comes out of the zone back to his blue line. He's got Farrell that he goes point to point to. Just 5 seconds left to go. Farrell able to touch that up and out of the zone. That's going to do it for the first period here. After 1, it's North Park 3, Dix Hills 1. Stick around. We're going to put 15 on the board. Do it all over again in just a moment. This is Midnight Sports. We promised, and we did it. 15 more on the board. This is the period of the long change out there. North Park, if we didn't say at the top of the broadcast, in their home white sweaters. They're moving left to right during this period of the long change on your television screen or radio dial if you're just listening in. Dix Hills in their road black sweaters. They'll, of course, be moving in the opposite direction. All right, this is Finkelstein at the dot, flanked by Vigliotti and Sweeney. Meller and Keyworth as the defenders. And you can't say enough, by the way, about Julian Meller out there. Not only is he deputizing as a defender, something he doesn't do particularly often, it happens to be his birthday. This is now Keyworth all the way back into his own end. 15 seconds into this period. Stretch pass toward Finkelstein. He's able to bat that puck forward. And so just to finish that thought, happy birthday to the big man with the puck. It's now Meller all the way in. Drop pass for Bigliotti. Looked like he carried it out of the zone. Didn't have much room to operate. And so with 14:28 left to go in the second, it's going to be a neutral zone drop near side of the ice. Now some new skaters onto the ice for North Park. This will be Koslewski at the dot, flanked by Meyerowicz and Grebin. Alpern and Farrow as the defenders. And that puck chipped forward for Farrow to chase all the way back into his own end. Farrow slaps that around the curved wall, bouncing puck by those transparent boards. Hard to corral. Dix Hills did for a moment, but now it's Dylan Grebin all the way into the offensive end. Finds a trailer in Meyerowicz, who tries to flick it on net, but the Ice Monster had other ideas. It's a 3-on-2 now for Dix Hills in the other direction. They'll shoot in. Speaker able to just glove and freeze. With 14:01 left to go in this second period. Well, counted as a shot on goal. Nothing more there. Shots right now. North Park 9, Dix Hills 8. Just 15 minutes and 59 seconds into this game. This is Halpern turning and spinning. Works it up strong side, not out. Jabbed in by the Hawks, but Grebin able to get that past the blue line. The Hawks have to delay to reset. They do. Into the offensive end now, mid-slot. They try to set up something. A lot of space, far side up the ice. They shoot in. Speaker chests that right into the glove to take the sting out of a nice play for the Hawks. And so we get another stoppage in play and a far side of the ice drop in the North Park zone. 5 new skaters out for North Park as Coach Keyworth trying to keep the legs fresh out there, making some quick changes if he can. Dix Hills throws that in. Speaker kicks it aside. It was a screen shot. Was able to get the leg pad out. That was screened too. It went off Finkelstein in front. And Dix Hills able to pick up the Hawks on that far corner. Bigliotti tries to jab it past a man. Ends up working it back to his captain, who can turn with the puck, but he gets washed out of the play and then gets right back in it. Works it to Bigliotti, who does send this one up and out. It's Keyworth trying to pick off a pass at the offensive blue line. Tracks all the way back to his own zone for the puck. He's got Miller ahead of him. He's going to work it straight up the seam to Finkelstein. And now Bigliotti takes that spinning puck into the offensive end. Nearly finds Finkelstein on a trailing pass. Instead, that puck fluttered away from everyone. And so it's Finkelstein all the way back in for it. Dix Hills able to get that up and out. That puck is hopping everywhere right now. And it's Meller all the way back, trying not to get washed out of the play, and he doesn't. Sends it up and out of the zone. Dix Hills resets in the neutral zone. They fire in on Speaker, who kicks that aside. And it's cleared by North Park, up and out. Puck dumped in once more. This time it's Keyworth all the way back for it. On the forehand, stops, flicks it up and out of the zone. Finds Bigliotti, who leaves for Sweeney. Sweeney back to Bigliotti, but the puck hadn't entered the zone, and so North Park has to delay. They dump on in off the stick of Finkelstein. And so now it will be Dix Hills retrieving in the corner. Bigliotti all over his man there. Nice stick lift. Bigliotti looks for Koslewski in front, just out of his reach. And Dix Hills comes back in the other direction. It's the Hawks in full stride into the slot. Speaker fights that off with the glove up into the glass. Dix Hills resets once more. It's the Hawks trying to tilt the ice a little bit here. They've had the better of it for the last minute or two in this second period. Bigliotti, though, retrieves that long pass, tries to carry in, and this time he'll just dump it. It goes off a skate right back to Grebin, joined there by Koslewski, who bats it forward. Puck still in front, just to the side of the cage. Grebin looking for a trailer in. Halpern. Farrow now across to wipe his man out of the play. Meyerowicz comes back for the puck. It's good team play out there from North Park right now, covering each other's positions as necessary. Here come the Hawks, 1-on-3 into the offensive end. They shoot in. That one goes just wide. Speaker got a touch on it to send it to the near side of the cage. And now this one looked to be touched by Meyerowicz, but not in the eyes of the officials. And so get our shots on goal right with a defensive zone drop upcoming for North Park. Shots 14-9 actually in Dix Hills' favor right now, which is more of an approximation of how the last couple of minutes of this game has gone. They've had a flurry of shots, but nothing that's troubled North Park very much. Commentator's curse, of course. Just want to be careful saying things like that as North Park has Dix Hills come in on him. Speaker fights that off. It's up in the air, still loose. And after a couple of shots, Speaker throws his glove over it. And we'll have a stoppage in play with 10:55 left to go here in the second. A reminder, North Park back in action tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Abe Stark, Coney Island against the New York Stars. And it's like perhaps this one might have been touched with a high stick or some such thing, because it's going to come, this faceoff's going to come all the way down to the Dix Hills end. And North Park's not going to complain, relieves a little bit of the pressure that the Hawks had been putting on them after North Park had the two quick goals at the end of the last period. All right, it's North Park trying to chip that through the slot. Instead, the bouncing puck gloved by the Dix Hills man between the pipes. And so we'll do it all over again. Far side of the ice, 10:51 left to go in this second period. This will be Kozlowski at the dot. Wins it over toward the half wall. Grebin able to hold the puck in the zone for a moment, but eventually momentum carries it out. And so Dix Hills able to break into the offensive end. It's Dix Hills side of the cage, pulling it toward the slot. They shoot, they go near post. It goes up and over as they had come in tight, and now a little bit of jousting behind the play, but turning with the puck is Grebin. He tries to pull it forward. Dix Hills able to carry it back into the offensive end. Now Keyworth settles that bouncing puck down near side of the ice. Stretch pass misses all sticks. Meyerowicz will give chase. Dix Hills to pull it to the near side of their defensive zone. Dix Hills on the puck. North Park backs off ever so slightly. Keyworth now pinches in to try and dispossess. Dix Hills still pouring forward. It's a 3-on-2. Dix Hills in. Speaker blockers that into the glass. Dix Hills goes to retrieve near side of the ice. They've got it in the mid slot. Dix Hills on the wrister. A great block by Meller. Keeps that puck from reaching the goal mouth. Now it's Dix Hills trying to spin one on net. Instead, it's Meyerowicz joined by Grebin. 2-on-0 in the other direction. Meyerowicz all the way across. Shoots for the corner. Oh, boy. It was North Park trying to get that puck up into the net. Instead, it was a blocker saved by the Hawks man. And so, with 9:36 left to go in the second, it's a face-off on the far side of the ice in the Hawks zone. That was some good skating back by the Hawks that turned that 2-on-0 into a 2-on-1, and there was not a passing lane for Meyerowicz over to Grebin, so he ended up taking the shot, and it happened to just be a better save by the Hawks man between the pipes. It's the official trying to get the players to line up properly on this face-off, and now Dix Hills will break in the other direction. Halpern able to push his man wide. Speaker stands up to make the save. That puck comes right down off the chest protector. North Park first to it, but the Hawks hold the zone. They throw it across the slot, and this will be Halpern able to jab that up and out. Waiting for the stretch pass was Vigliotti. Sweeney able to bat it into the offensive zone, but without possession, and the Hawks reset. The Hawks all the way into the offensive end, and this time it's Farrow first to the puck in that far corner. He gets stood up there in that corner. He's able to slow the puck down, though, so his team can get in position. The Hawks looking to pull that puck up and out. They do, but only so far as Sweeney. That puck sits in front. Speaker able to just jab it to the corner as it was rolling across the face of the goal. Hawks throw that to some open ice and try and reset. Instead, it will be Finkelstein able to body his man in front of the scorer's booth. And that puck jabbed up toward Vigliotti, who fires it across for Sweeney, picked up by Halpern. Halpern carries it. Sweeney tries to jab farther. Instead, the Hawks can come in the other direction. All the way across is Finkelstein for the puck to slow the play down very nicely and then jab farther. Farrow tries to carry, goes off a shin guard, and Sweeney able to send that through center ice. The Hawks on the far side of the ice will come back in. That puck goes wide of the net. This is Sweeney now leaving for Halpern. Halpern all the way into the offensive end. The Hawks were making a change, and shot and scored. It was Sweeney to Halpern, and Halpern had no doubt about it. And just like that, it's a 4-1 hockey game. Under 8 minutes left to play here in the second. And North Park 4 goals on 11 shots here this afternoon. And they'll go out there looking for more on the ensuing faceoff. It will be Meyerowicz, Koslewski, and Grebin at center ice. That puck won forward by Koslewski. Dix Hills takes over. And they spin the puck up to the neutral zone. This is Meller all the way across off the boards, right back through the neutral zone. Puck ping-ponging around a little bit right now, just back and forth, but it's Grebin with sight of goal. Grebin all the way and tries to feed Meyerowicz, but Dix Hills able to get a stick in the way and send that puck up and out. Meller on the puck, carries it across his zone, finds Grebin again, turning for it, and now it's Meyerowicz able to pick up this puck in the near offensive corner. The puck had gone off a Hawks skate, and that's why there was no icing. And the Hawks able to clear the trouble anyway. All the way back is Meller. Jabs it off the boards once more. This one's going to cross the end line and will go for an icing with 7:10 left to play in this second period. So we're more than halfway through this one. Shots 18-11 in Dix Hills' favor. But the more important numbers on the board, 4-1 in North Park's favor. And so North Park short benched with what ended up being 9 skaters here today, still putting it to the Hawks right now. That's Grebin being told to get on his side of the hash marks for the faceoff. He was going to be off to the races had North Park won that faceoff. Instead, puck up and out of the zone by the North Park defenders, and so Dix Hills has to pick it up in the neutral zone and carry in once more. It is Meller surveying his options. He finds Keyworth far side of the defensive zone. Keyworth's going to circle with the puck to try and find a better pass. He works it up off the skates of Koslewski forward and then jabbed off a stick by Meyerowicz. It was Dix Hills able to just fire a puck in on net. Back goes Meller for the puck. Look out, that puck comes out front. And it looks like it ended up in the back of the net as it had come out of the corner. And so a couple of shots on goal for Dix Hills and a goal for the Hawks. And all of a sudden it's a 4-2 hockey game. And there's a lot of hockey left to play. This will be Finkelstein, Sweeney, Bigliotti, Halpern, and Farrow out there on the ice in white sweaters for this ensuing faceoff. Puck's dropped. The Hawks will carry it forward. Look out, Dix Hills looking to do what North Park did to them and score a couple of goals in quick succession. This one toward the side of the cage, and it's taken over by North Park, fired up and out. Sweeney gives chase on the forecheck. Dix Hills comes away with it behind their own net. It's the Hawks on the puck, skating through their defensive zone. Drop pass all the way across the zone, and Dix Hills looks to reset once more. Flicked up all the way to Halpern's stick in his own end. Halpern sends that up and out. Dix Hills will take over in the neutral zone once more. It's a bouncing puck that comes all the way back into the Dix Hills zone where they will collect. Sweeney attempts to lift a stick there, and he's still on the forecheck as the Hawks trying to set up a zone breakout, and they have. Into the neutral zone, now the offensive end. Farrow reaching for the puck, pushes his man to the corner, and then wipes him out of the play. Halpern picks up that pass, sends to Bigliotti. Bigliotti in full stride all the way across. He was looking for Sweeney. Instead, that puck comes up to Halpern, and it's Halpern settling it down all the way to Sweeney, who dumps in farther. The Hawks pick up and work it to the near side of the ice. Dix Hills there. Farrow would come across to try and separate a man from the puck. Halpern gets back in a hurry as the Hawks come to the side of the cage. They throw it in front. Look out. They'll shoot. Speaker rises up, and that puck goes just over his shoulder, but also over the net. Look out. One-timer on for Dix Hills here. Speaker able to fight that off into the glove. He took it up high, but knocked it straight into the leather. And so count it just as one shot on goal during the sequence with 4:55 left to go in the second. It's North Park getting some new skaters on the ice as the legs start to burn here at World Ice. This will be Koslewski at the far defensive dot. Grebin, Meller, and Meyerowicz in the slot. That puck goes wide of the cage on the Dix Hills shot. It's Keyworth, the fifth skater on the ice. It's now Meyerowicz, who did very well to get that puck out of the zone just through brute force. And now Grebin across for Keyworth. Back to Grebin, fired and scored. Well, it was Keyworth to Grebin. And if you rewind it a little bit farther, Grebin to Keyworth to Grebin. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-2 hockey game here with 4:37 left to play in the second. Now the officials just trying to get the scoreboard right. Make sure it's a 5-2 hockey game on the board. And of course, that's a hard job over there on the far side of the ice, doing the score sheet and the scoreboard. And so it would be easy to tease those folks on the far side of the ice for putting up a goal for the visitors. But it's not the easiest thing to do, and so our compliments to both folks in the booth for doing the job. This is Dix Hills, near side of the ice. They flick it out front, and it was good work down low by Meller to cut out the threat. And now this will be North Park coming away with it through the stick of Meyerowicz. He had Grebin ahead, but he couldn't release the puck. Too many Hawks in the way, so Meyerowicz skates it in himself. He looks for a trailer in that far corner, works it up to Keyworth at the point, bumper in, and a great save as that puck was collected by the Hawks man off the Koslewski one-timer. He didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it to send it knuckling on net. And so it was a shot and save in that sequence. Finkelstein, Sweeney, Vigliotti, Farrow, and Halpern on the ice for North Park. Dix Hills will make a change of their own. And so just a delay while that change is happening. It's Finkelstein at the dot. Puck is dropped. Comes to a Dix Hills stick. All the way across was Farrow to try and hold the zone. Finkelstein does, sends it in on net. This is now the Hawks coming away with the puck. They jab it off the board. Sweeney just dumps it in farther. Good work by him, far side of the ice. Trying to dig that puck out is Finkelstein. And it rolls to Vigliotti. Vigliotti tries to send it back towards Sweeney. Dix Hills able to dispossess and come in the other direction. Here come the Hawks into the offensive end. Drop pass far side of the ice. They shoot in. Speaker fights off a man and the puck and a follow-up. And now Farrow and Dix Hills starting to get into it in front of the net after the Hawks had taken a slash at his netminder. Farrow did not like what he saw. And so he was trying to keep his netminder clean, and for his troubles, Farrow's going to go to the box here, presumably for roughing. And so North Park feels aggrieved at the call, given the extra chop. Speaker explaining himself to the official. But it is North Park who's going to find themselves down a skater on the 2 minutes for roughing against Farrow. And so North Park up 3, down a man for the next 2, assuming no more paperwork. 3:18 left to play in this second period. And we're ready for this defensive zone draw. It will be Grebin at the dot. Ties his man up, and Meyerowicz able to retrieve and jab this one all the way down on net, no less. This is Dix Hills having to reset, but it's Grebin working it deeper for Meyerowicz, who pulls it out of the corner, stalks it on net, comes off a couple of skates, tries to swipe it farther. And so just the dump in as a shot on goal. Onward we play. Turning now for the puck in his own end is Keyworth. Jousting with a man there. Dix Hills picks up near side of the ice. Look out on the forehand. Dix Hills is going to have to reverse because Meyerowicz did well on the penalty kill. And that puck comes all the way down. It's Grebin in a partial break. He shoots, and it's kicked out nicely by the Hawks. And now the Hawks can come back in the other direction. It's a 2-on-1 all the way across, one-timer. And it was shot and scored. And so this is going to be a power play goal for the Hawks. And Speaker looked to have gotten post to post there. Must have thought that puck was coming up, because he had lifted the leg pad to try and prevent that puck from coming up. And now there's a conversation between the official and Meyerowicz on the far side of the ice. Looks like perhaps just a warning of sorts or an explanation. Either way, 2:28 left to go in the second. It is a 5-3 hockey game on the power play goal by the Hawks. This is Dix Hills on the puck. They'll work it up and out. Hawks just reminding North Park they're not going anywhere in this game. It's 5-3 out there. And the Hawks, with 25 shots on goal, certainly have taken their chances. This one's going to come in on Speaker. He stops the bouncing puck on the shot from center ice and buys his team a draw in the defensive end. 2 minutes left to play here in the second period. And it will be Finkelstein at the far dot. It's Dix Hills firing in. Speaker kicks it out, and he gets across. But again, it's Dix Hills shooting and scoring. And Speaker having a lot of trouble keeping that right leg pad down on the slide across, and so might need to adjust that equipment at intermission. But for now, with 5:53 left to go, Dix Hills has done to North Park what North Park did to them and scored 2 goals in 7 seconds. And it's a 1-goal hockey game here at World Ice. This is Finkelstein at center ice. He's going to carry forward. He reaches for the puck, but the Hawks able to send that up and out. Meller now at his own blue line, chips it up toward Finkelstein, who sends it farther. 100 seconds left to go here in the second. And the Dix Hills zone exit ends up in the rafters, and so we'll do it all over again in the offensive end for North Park with 1:35 remaining to go here in the second. Fans getting a little restless now after 2 unanswered goals from the Hawks. And so we'll see what North Park has in terms of pushback in this one. This is Kushlevsky at the dot. Fired all the way across the zone, and Kushlevsky works it up to Keyworth at the point, fired in and tucked in, frozen by the Hawks netminder. These two teams only separated by 1 ranking point in the My Hockey rating system, which means if they played 1,000 times, the average margin of victory for North Park would be 1 goal. But not the easiest thing to convince anyone of when North Park had that 5-2 lead. And so Speaker hoping to perhaps have a chance to redeem himself on that right leg pad, if at all possible. That chance could be upcoming right now. Fired in. It was deflected wide by Meller. And Keyworth cleans it up over to Meller on the near side of the ice. It's Meller skating that one across his zone. And he jabs that up to the neutral zone. And that puck sits at the logo for a moment. 1 minute left to play here in the second. And it's Keyworth all the way back for the puck. Tries to work the puck forward. It's Dix Hills, though, keeping the zone. Look out. They can fire in. They do. And that one deflected wide by Kushlevsky. Grebin now gets stick on puck, jams it to the near corner. And Meller can retrieve. Meller on the puck. It floats off a stick. Look out. The Hawks have it side of the cage. They throw it in front. It misses everybody. Now Meyerowicz able to jab that back to the stick of Keyworth. But the Hawks have it in front. They shoot wide of the cage. And Dix Hills looks to collect far side of the ice. It's a shooting gallery out there right now. And North Park had seen enough. So Dix Hills has to collect back in their own end. It's Grebin who looked to have held the zone. but the official disagrees with 14 seconds left to go in this second period. And it'll be a neutral ice drop on the North Park offsides. And so we will get some different personnel out there in white sweaters. This is Koslewski winning that puck forward. Dix Hill's able to just jab that up and out. Farrow able to give his man the what for. Skating past 1 and 2 is Halpern. He can dump on in. And now Dix Hills looks to get this puck out of the zone before the buzzer goes. And the buzzer does in fact go after 2. It's 5-2 here at World Ice. 5-4 here at World Ice. Yikes. And we'll put 15 on the board. Do it one last time here from World Ice. This is Midnight Sports. We're ready to roll here for the last 15 from World Ice. This is Vigliotti carrying forward into the offensive end. I promise we'll get the camera to follow it. Halpern across to pick off a pass in the neutral zone. Sweeney in front of the scorer's booth, able to scare that puck up toward Vigliotti. Upended was Finkelstein, and we're going to get a call for tripping against Dix Hills here. And so it will be Dix Hills to the box. 2 for tripping with 14:42 left to go in this third period. Well, no time like the present for North Park to try and reestablish that 2-goal lead. And they'll be on the man advantage for the next 2 minutes, assuming no more paperwork in the interim. This is Meller, Halpern, Keyworth, Grebin, and Meyerwich as the 5 skaters in white. Clean win over to Grebin. Back on up to Halpern, who finds Grebin once more. Grebin trying to send that across the zone. It's good stick work by Meyerwich on the back check to get the puck back to Keyworth. Now Meyerwich up to Keyworth once more. Keyworth stalks across the blue line. He was looking in front for a screen shot. Bouncing puck. Meyerwich spins it just wide. Keyworth comes all the way over to pick up in the offensive zone. Keyworth able to walk the blue line. Carries in once more. Taps it to himself. And tries to go through the legs to send that on net on the forehand instead. This will be a puck that comes all the way down the Speaker, who leaves for Meyerwich. And Meyerwich spins it up to Halpern. Halpern on the puck. On up for Keyworth. Keyworth up the left wing now. Able to drag that into the offensive end. Gets stood up for a moment there. And Dix Hills spins that all the way up and out of the zone. The Hawks in full stride trying to get on that puck. They do. And it's still Dix Hills on the puck with a minute left in this Man advantage for North Park. Dix Hills fires it all the way on Cage. North Park able to get that up to Keyworth, and now Meyerowitz into the offensive zone. Meyerowitz shoots. That one goes over the net. Keyworth to pick up near side of the ice. Pinching in was Halpern, but look out. It's a 2-on-1 for Dix Hills. Now a full break. Shorthanded on in. That puck is scored. Well, it's a shorthanded goal for Dix Hills. And it's a 5-5 hockey game with 13-17 left to go. Well, still 35 seconds left to go on the man advantage here. And Dix Hills has worked all the way back from a 5-2 deficit to make this a 5-5 hockey game out there. And then Dix Hills still conversing as to which skaters should be on the ice. In any event, though, it's a shorthanded goal on what turned into a 2-on-1. Speaker had made the initial save, but the follow-up shot ended up in the back of the net. Shots now 31-16 in Dix Hills' favor, and they're nearly off to the races once more. Vigliotti able to send that to Keyworth, but offside. With 21 seconds left to go in this man advantage for North Park. And 13:03 left to go in the game. Well, as predicted by those My Hockey ratings, this game has tightened up, and how. And so this is Finkelstein at the faceoff dot, wins back to Meller. Meller can give chase. Meller all the way across for Keyworth as that puck came close to the net, but was always controlled by the captain, and now Meller skates forward. Meller up the left wing into the offensive zone, tries to turn toward the slot. Dix Hills all over him there. They'll take over and jab that up and out. Back to 5-on-5 hockey here as Keyworth goes all the way back. Not icing because Dix Hills had released it before the penalty was over. It's now Keyworth skating forward through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Drop pass for Finkelstein. He tries to carry it farther. Keyworth gets it back. That puck rolls in on net, and it's stopped by Dix Hills off a Dix Hills skate. So call it a shot on goal. But if the Hawks could see that every day and every attempt, they'd be thrilled, as that one had just trickled in. 12:19 left to go. And it's a face-off in the offensive end for North Park. It's Koslewski, far dot. And the puck cracked all the way over to the near side of the ice. And then up and out of the zone. Halpern's going to turn in his own end for it. He's got the Hawks on him. Spun around to this near side. Meyerowitz able to get that out of the zone, but the Hawks touch it in the offensive end during the delayed offside. And so, with 12:03 left to go in this third period, it's a neutral zone drop right in front of the camera well. This is Koslewski at the dot. Greben to his left, Meyerowitz to his right. Puck won from Koslewski off a shin guard, right back to Koslewski. Fired in, gloved, and stopped on the Greben shot. And so with 11:56 left to go in the third, it's going to be an offensive zone drop far side of the ice. This will be Koslewski on that far side. Just a little bit of the air has gone out of the arena here, as it was a 3-goal lead for North Park, and they were cruising. And then some odd man rushes and a shorthanded goal has brought the Hawks right back into it. Greben trying to spin that out front, and it was sticked aside before Koslewski could get a stick on it by the Hawks netminder, and now it'll be Dix Hills back in the other direction, but Fairhout captures that loose puck and works it over to Halpern. Halpern on up. Greben gets a stick on it to flick it into the offensive end. He can go for a change as it's Koslewski on the forecheck, joined by Meyerowitz. Puck cycled around, and it will be the Hawks back in the other direction. Through the neutral zone comes Dix Hills, but off Figliotti's skate to Koslewski, and he can set up a shot. That's blockered aside by the Dix Hills man in the pipes. Puck rolls out front, comes up to Halpern, who fires in. And unfortunately for North Park, that found the chest protector of the Dix Hills man between the pipes. And so with 11 minutes even left to go in the third, North Park, it's a little closer to evening the shot count, but nothing more during the sequence. Shots now 31-20 in Dix Hills' favor. Obviously 5 apiece on the scoreboard. This is Finkelstein winning it forward, trying to capture that puck. It's dumped to the corner by the Hawks, and they will work it up and out. Finkelstein all the way across on the back check, able to send the puck back into the offensive zone, but without possession, so Dix Hills can fire that in and give chase. Meller's going to be first to it, behind his own net, works it around near side of the ice. Dix Hills holds the zone. They fire in, Speaker across. He chests that aside, and the Hawks dump it in just a bit deeper. It's Sweeney now on the puck, and he's joined over there by Meller. It's 2 players aside, but Meller comes away with it, jabs it around to the near side for Bigliotti. Bigliotti on the puck, and he stops and delays in the corner. He's able to work it past one man, carries it farther, takes a big hit into the boards. Dix Hills dumps in once more. North Park getting pinned just a little bit now, but it's Keyworth taking that stretch pass into the offensive end, and that puck is saved by the Hawks, and that has been the tale of this one. Thus far, it's the Hawks potting on their odd man rushes, and North Park hoping to do the same, but thus far unable to do so. It was a grade A chance for the home team, and they'll look to get some more of them on what was a great pass up the seam to the offensive blue line. And so North Park gets an offensive zone draw out of it. This is Koslewski working it over to Grebin. Fired in, kicked aside. Halpern reaches for it. Puck flutters just past him. Meyerwich able to jam it farther. Koslewski takes that puck and sends it on down toward Grebin in the corner. Grebin on the puck, jabbed all the way around now by Dix Hills, but it comes back to Grebin. Out front, it was Koslewski trying to send it on net, but it was deflected by a Hawks stick, and now the Hawks off to the races. Under 10 left to play. The Hawks throw that off the side of the cage. They were trying to bank it off Speaker, but instead it hit the outside of the twine, and North Park able to clear the zone. Here come the Hawks all the way back into their own end. They'll spin it to the far side of the ice to relieve a little bit of this North Park pressure. And credit where credit's due. North Park has pushed back, and how, after that shorthanded goal by the Hawks. It's Koslewski able to work that over to Grebin. Grebin sets up a shot in the slot. That's deflected well wide. Comes in for the one-timer. Too hot to handle. Farrow had come across to try and hold the zone, but here's a 2-on-1 for the Hawks. It's Dix Hills all the way in. They try to pick a corner, and Speaker has it in the equipment. And then it sits out front as North Park able to clear the zone, and Dix Hills. And we'll get a whistle here as the net had come off its moorings. Speaker had made the save in tight, and then the net came off. And so with 8:43 left to go here in the third, it's going to be a face-off in the neutral zone, as that's where the puck was when the whistle went. This is Finkelstein in the neutral zone as Dix Hills wins that all the way forward. And North Park able to work that puck up to the point. Not out just yet. Bigliotti was calling for it there. Finkelstein tried to get it to him. Dix Hills in the way. Hawks on the puck. They try to curl at the blue line. It was jabbed farther, but it'll be the Hawks having to go point to point all the way back in their own end. Sweeney on the puck, bats it forward. It comes up into the Hawks bench. Should be a face-off in the offensive end here with 8:14 left to play. North Park surveys the bench options. They'll keep the same 5 out there as the shift hasn't quite been long enough. And they want to make sure both lines get rest when they are on the bench. This is Finkelstein, far side of the ice. Keyworth and Meller behind him. Flanked by Sweeney and Bigliotti. Puck bumped up to Meller, who can dump on it. Bigliotti will give chase on the forecheck near side. In the near corner, Bigliotti has that puck come off a stick, and the Hawks able to eject it up and out of the zone. Meller pinches forward. to try and get the puck off a man. Instead now, he'll chase back and be first to it over to Keyworth, who cycles it right back to Meller. And now Meller, stretch pass up to Sweeney. Sweeney sends that forward. It misses all sticks, but Sweeney gives chase. Sweeney able to lift the stick of his man, and another Dix Hills skater has to come in to relieve that pressure. Now it's Keyworth. Keyworth tries to bring that puck farther, but here comes Dix Hills into the offensive end. We're going to get a call here, and we'll see if it's an offside call against Dix Hills. Looks to be. Now the Dix Hills bench does not like that call. They're claiming it was pulled in by North Park, but in any event, it washes out the play with 7:29 left to go in the third. Speaker had made the save anyway. It won't go down as an official shot on goal because Dix Hills was offside. Puck dumped in by Dix Hills. Farrow tries to carry that puck farther to relieve some pressure, and he's able to bat that up to the point. Slapper in, deflected well wide. Dix Hills reaches for it and gets it back in the near corner. It's the Hawks looking out front for a trailer. They get that puck. It flutters wide on a deflection, and Dix Hills has it back on the near side of the ice. It's Halpern now with the puck on his forehand, chops it up to the near point. Fired in, looking for a deflection in front. Speaker able to throw that into the glove, and it was a sprawling save by the old 3-0 in between the pipes, keeping this a 5-5 hockey game. Now shots now 34-21 in Dix Hills' favor. And goals are 5 apiece on the board with 6:51 remaining to go here from World Ice. Schlefsky at the dot, one up. Dix Hills slaps that in well wide of the cage, and now it's Meyerowicz trying to get that to another North Park stick. Dix Hills fires in. Speaker kicks it aside. It's Dix Hills applying the pressure right now. Farrow, though, able to stick that up toward Meyerowicz, who was looking for Grebin. The Hawks intercept, and so North Park has to reset. Puck fluttered up through the neutral zone by the home team. Dix Hills, though, pours right back in. Screen shot goes high of the cage, and it's going to come all the way out of the North Park zone. The Hawks reset once more in the neutral zone, and now firing on the puck is Koslewski. And Dix Hills has to pick it up all the way back at their end boards. They do. They jab it all the way to the far side of the ice. The Hawks reset behind their own net. It's North Park with an aggressive forecheck right now, but Dix Hills able to dump it into the offensive end. Meller gets hip on that far side, dispossesses his man, tries to work it over to the near side of the ice. Dix Hills retrieves off the near half wall. Dix Hills throws it out toward the slot, but it's Koslewski settling it for Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz can carry forward, and he works that into the offensive end and then gets held up, and so North Park resets. North Park on a quick up toward Grebin. Grebin all the way across the blue line, dumps it in to some open ice. He can go for a change with 5.5 left to play in this third period. It's now Dix Hills coming in the other direction. And they send it all the way across, but Figliotti had gotten back, and he works it to that far half wall. The Hawks try to pick up the puck there. Figliotti and Meller in the way. Figliotti sending that off the boards. Keyworth was calling for it on the stretch pass. Dix Hills had gotten back. The Hawks on the puck. Through the neutral zone they come into the offensive end. They try to go around toward the side of the cage. Speaker gets down, throws it to the far half wall. It was an important save, even more important that he was able to direct the rebound to that far side because Dix Hills was lurking at the back post. Now the Hawks back on the puck all the way into the offensive end. Drop pass doesn't connect for him. They'll have to reset. 4:37 left to play here as Meller stands a man up at the blue line. The Hawks pour forward once more. Shot blocked by the captain, and now North Park able to send that up and out of the zone. And back in goes the puck. Keyworth to pick up at his own end boards. It's Keyworth on the puck. Flushed out from behind his net. Tries to cycle the puck. Nobody there. Speaker able to hook a Dix Hills man to slow him down. Now the puck does come out of the zone. Vigliotti's going to give chase near side of the ice. He swipes it farther. And Keyworth able to get that puck into the offensive zone. And get a shot on goal there from the captain, but Dix Hills comes away with it, and now it's a break in the other direction. Dix Hills all alone. They pull it past Speaker. They shoot and score. And so Dix Hills able to take their first lead of the day with 3:51 left to play. Well, this will be a face-off at center ice. And it is Koslewski at the dot. He's got Grebin and Meyerowicz flanking him. And Halpern and Farrow behind. Well, the odd man rushes have done North Park in here today. And they'll look to try and change that tail with 3:40 left to play in this game. Long reach by Halpern, dispossesses his man, and now Koslewski able to kick that puck to the neutral zone. Meyerowicz tracks back for it, and Grebin reaches to try and pull that into the offensive end. It's now Grebin in all alone. He shoots and scores. Well, looks like there might be a conversation here, as Grebin had shot and scored. The officials still talking about whether that was an offside on North Park. And so we'll wait to put anything up on the board here just yet as the officials talk in the corner. Can't see them. They're hiding from our camera. Not hiding on purpose, of course. It's just the stanchion in the way. And so we'll see if this is going to be adjudged to be a good goal or not. Looks like all the way over to the scorekeeper. And we'll see if they give him the goal here. And they didn't. They're going to call it offside and not bother to explain it to North Park until they get called on over. Well, North Park had scored. The Dix Hills fans thought it was offside. The North Park fans didn't say anything. And the officials got together and decided, in fact, it was offside. And so this remains a 6-5 hockey game here at World Ice. Now Halpern to pick up in the neutral zone. North Park's going to have to do it all over again as Halpern comes into the offensive end. He chips that puck up to Farrow. Farrow stalks in on the forehand, will turn to the backhand and then dump in as Grebin picks it up on the near side of the ice. Farrow pinches in to try and hold the zone. Bouncing puck up and out. Could be a break in the other direction here for Dix Hills. They'll break in. And it's Dix Hills throwing it out front. Speaker gets a stick on it. And it's now Dix Hills who was offside on the zone entry, but no whistle goes. And we'll get a big hit in the corner. And so we'll see who's going to go to the box here. Farrow got spilled. Both officials had turned their back to the play, which is always a recipe for disaster. This game absolutely wheels off here. We had a goal called off 30 seconds after the goal. Now we have players cross-checking others in the back as soon as the officials turn their back. And so finally a penalty put up on the board, but it was the initial penalty, which is why the whistle went. Dix Hills happy to just throw sticks into backs when the officials weren't looking. North Park, of course, took exception to that. But we'll see if any penalty gets put up on the board here. There is a Dix Hills man in the box. And so perhaps they are working on trying to get the right number up on the scoreboard here for the penalty. It's Meller, Halpern, Meyerowicz, Grebin, and we'll see. The fifth skater is out there in just a moment as that fifth skater clears the stanchion. It's Keyworth. He separates the puck all the way back to Halpern from a Dix Hills man. Halpern takes over in the slot. Across it goes for Grebin. Grebin on the puck to Halpern. Halpern down low for Keyworth. One-timer across the face of the goal. And so Grebin settles that puck down, works it over to Keyworth once more. Keyworth up to Halpern. Halpern in the top of the slot, spins it to Meyerowicz. Good outside movement here from North Park. That shot goes high and wide off Meyerowicz's stick. And so Keyworth able to settle it down for Meyerowicz once more. Keyworth calling for the one-timer near side of the ice. It's Grebin, though, firing in. That's blockered aside by the Dix Hills man between the pipes. Halpern back on the puck. Sends it on over for Grebin. Grebin shooting in off a pair of skates. Still 150 left to go in this game. 109 left to go on the man advantage. This is Dix Hills trying to jab it past Meller, who sends that on up to Halpern. Halpern in the offensive end, fired in. That one blocked aside as well by the netminder for Dix Hills. Halpern holds the zone for a moment, but that puck eventually trickles out. We'll keep an eye on Speaker here to see if he clears the net to make this a 6-on-4. But first, North Park has to get possession of the puck. And they do. They send it up to Meller. Stalking toward the back post is Keyworth all the way across. He gets handcuffed by the pass. This is now Halpern dumping that puck on in. And in front, North Park tries to jab the puck home. Now Keyworth sends that just high of the cage. 26 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Keyworth calls for it in the slot, shooting. That puck blocked up and over. And Speaker off the ice in favor of Finkelstein. 6 skaters out there. Under a minute left to play. It's North Park trying to hold that puck in the zone. Dix Hills, though, can turn with it. Pinching all the way in is Halpern. That bouncing puck up into the glove, then spilled and frozen by the Dix Hills man between the pipes, and the Hawks happy to try and mix it up afterwards. Still 3 seconds left to go on the man advantage, and North Park's going to call a timeout here on the ice. And so, with 42.8 left to play, it'll be a 6-on-4 for 3 seconds, and then presumably a 6-on-5 until somebody scores or the clock runs out. This is Midnight Sports. All right, 43 left to go here as North Park tries to get that puck on net. It's Keyworth, one-timer in, puck spilled in front, all the way across. There's North Park, they shoot and score! Oh boy, looks like Grebin was able to clean up that puck in front and make this a 6-6 hockey game late on at World Ice Arena. Well, this game's had a little bit of everything, and right now it's all tied up at 6 with 33.4 seconds left to go here at World Ice. Now, it looks like the goaltender, well, it's Bickoff that's leaving. Speaker had helped him open the door, and so hopefully just an equipment problem there. Or Bickoff. In any event, this is now a timeout on the ice for the Hawks, and so we'll give you another moment to listen to some royalty-free music. This is Midnight Sports. All right, timeout on the ice over. 33.4 left to play. It's Koslewski winning that back toward Keyworth, who passes it up toward Meyerowicz. And it's Grebin pouring in to try and take that puck off a Hawks man. Reaching for it was Meyerowicz. He gets it back on the backhand, curls with it in the corner. The Hawks try to rub him out of the play, and they are able to shovel that puck up. 13 seconds left to go here as the Hawks pour in. Chopped off a stick by Meyerowicz, thrown in on Speaker, and he's able to cover up. And Meyerowicz with a couple of words for the man who took an extra jab at it, and it's a cross-check to the face by the Hawks there. No arm raised, 5.8 left to go. And it was Speaker with the save. Now shots 38-24 in Dix Hills' favor. That's 14 extra shots for Dix Hills, and it's number 14 for North Park at the dot. Dix Hills wants to fire this one in. Look out, slapper in wide of the cage. And now Meyerowicz able to settle that for Koslewski. And so we've gone final here at World Ice. It's North Park 6, Dix Hills 6. Tune in tomorrow with a state qualifying game. 9 a.m. It is North Park against the New York Stars. Until then, stay safe.